All right. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is our first session after the establishment of the AI Tech Tiger team. As um, uh, the dean has established multiple committees to give our business school a competitive edge when it comes to new technologies that is shaping academia in general. So, however, I want to, well, first of all, let me introduce our team. We have Professor Norman, who did a lot of works, on AI and finance. And then we also have Professor Fay, he does a lot of excellent work as well in AI. And what is really interesting about our team, our focus is different, which make this team complementary, which is a really good thing. So I will stop and let Professor Norman introduce himself, and then Professor Fay. Go ahead, Norman.
Good morning, everyone. Norman here. So I'm a techie at heart. I love to use the different types of technology and gadgets in my daily life. So I'm lucky to integrate my interest into research. So adopt different types of latest technology. We design it to the financial data, which is pretty different from the traditional language text model. So some of my research, including using the latest model to understand or decoding the investment behavior of mutual fund or hedge funds, like to understand what data they are relying on, what information they are using for investment decision, and to select like the best financial analysts and mutual fund managers. And I also teach blockchain and cryptocurrency classes, which I will need to read a lot of the latest technology and stuff. So all of this naturally guide me through like using a lot of new ideas of AI in teaching. So I've been using some of them in my class already. I'm happy to share some of my experience with you. But I'm also very exciting to hear your opinions and thoughts on how we could both infuse and design AI into teaching together.
Yes, okay. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming here today. So my name is Fei from Economics Department, and my research focus on macroeconomics and also econometrics. And I think, from a statistical point of view, AI models are nothing but a statistical model. And today I just like to briefly share, just very briefly how I use the AI agents, such as the Copilot, which I'm going to talk about in the next session in a few days, in my classroom to improve both my teaching and also learning. Now, first of all, you might wonder, what is an AI agent? So you can think of that as just a very smart digital assistant that can understand what you're working on and also offer some helpful suggestions. Pretty much just like how your cell phone's predictive text works, but that's for much a wider range of tasks. And also, how do I use it in my classroom? For instance, when I'm preparing the course materials, so I'm going to use the Copilot, and that will help me draft some class explanations, create some class examples, and even spot some mistakes that I might have missed. And for students, I think it works like a supportive tutor. And as students work on the assignments, the Copilot can suggest some ideas, helps with the formatting, and also encourage them to think very critically about their work. And finally, I think it's not just for coding. The Copilot can also help with the writing, organizing some useful information, and also brainstorming some solutions to the problems. And also, I want to mention, why do I prefer Copilot over some other AI tools? Because I think it fits seamlessly into my workflow, and it's designed specifically for education, with features such as the GitHub Classroom, which I'm going to talk about also in the next session, for managing student assignments and also student enrollment. And I think the good news is that right now, Microsoft just announced that the Copilot already is open sourced. So it's becoming even more flexible and transparent. So most importantly, I think using AI in the classroom isn't just about replacing the teachers or the students. It's more about giving all of us a helpful partner that makes the learning more enjoyable and also efficient. So I think if you're curious or want to see a quick demo, I'd be happy to show you next time. Yeah, Ben.
Thank you so much, Professor Fay. So just to give you the agenda of today, how we're going to work this. Well, first of all, I'm just going to give you a comprehensive picture of what we are trying to accomplish. Then after that, we're going to open the conversation to hear from you. I mean, it's an open discussion, which means that if you are new to AI and you have some questions about it, please go ahead. Or if you are just curious how you can use AI in the classroom and you have a question about that, we are here to help as well. So it's a brainstorming session that will help us actually design, the resources for our faculty. But let me just remind everyone here, we are here to support and coordinate the AI integration, across the curriculum. So we are not prescribing one size fits all solutions, but just to help, each area find its fit. So what you do in finance might be different from what you do on IB. For example, just the three of us here, we use AI in different way. We use different tools, and that's the beauty of it. So here we are here to, to support and coordinate. Just tell us what kind of support you need, what kind of resources you need, and we will do our best to help and provide those resources and the training if necessary, or we can bring other expert to help with the training, etc. So we as I say, we are just building the resource and the momentum. So so it's your innovation and it's your ownership, that will bring this initiative to life. Why we are doing this? Why now? Honestly, I am super excited about it. I just came back from a conference a few days ago, and you can hear the alarm everywhere about AI. And the session where AI was discussed were full. I was blessed and lucky to receive 2 awards for my work on using AI here at St. Louis University. And they want to hear how we did, apply it here at SLU. And they want to, so my video that I did of the work I did here at SLU will be actually shared with the international business community. So, as I say, we are at a moment of inflection, and the dean is very aware of this. And he wants us to coordinate this. The dean doesn't like the word lead, he likes the word coordination, collaboration. Everybody is involved. So business schools around the world are moving fast, to define this AI strategy. And those who move first will shape the conversation. I think we have the talent, we have the knowledge. This is the thing that we are blessed with in this school. Although it's a business school, but we have a lot of AI mind, here, and we have a very, quality product also to use. And this is why it's important. The market, employers, students, industry partners, you name it, the government is demanding this. We cannot afford to wait until everything is perfect. So we have to keep going. And I understand why the dean has put a very short deadline to accomplish this, because he knew from the data he received and the conversation he had how urgent the matter is. And we are so lucky, honestly, to be moving this fast. So we are not alone. Other universities, even locally, are trying to accomplish the same thing. So, but as I say, we also have an advantage of the talent we have here. And by the way, I know we only talk about, for example, Norman and Faye, but we have here, for example, Abby. Abby has created a beautiful AI game that we will be using in our class. Actually, in the next semester, we will be using it in our Business 1100. We will be using the AI game that he designed. And I'm very thankful to Abby for making his game free for everyone. So this is just the sky is the limit. So we have very creative people, and we have a beautiful mind. For example, Justin and his work with this with their department, they are doing some really good data stuff, which analytics is the core for this as well. So although we are talking about AI, but analytics is a part of it. So I'm gonna shut up and let the conversation start. So we're gonna spend 10 minutes, if you don't mind, just listen to open the conversation. If you have any kind of question, don't be shy, just ask your question and we will try to help. And then after that, we will let Norman has prepared a few slides explaining how can you use AI in the classroom as examples. But this is not necessarily you have to imitate what he did. As I said, there is not size fits all. But he will just give you some guidance, and then he's gonna stop for 10 minutes. Then we're gonna switch to an open conversation if you have a question about the things he say. If 1 hour is not enough, we will have another session, again and again until everybody is satisfied and everybody is getting engaged. Okay, so here we go. So it's open to conversation. You can use the chat room. I am watching it, or you can just raise your hand and ask your question.
Thank you, Ben and Norman and Faye. My question is, does your team have any recommendation in terms of which platform, AI platform faculty should use this for?
Okay, I will answer this question. As I say, I mean, it depends. For example, Normal, he likes to use, Professor Fay, he likes to use, Copilot. Well, I use different applications. If you watch my videos that I publish on YouTube, each week, each 2 weeks, I come up with different platform. I use Google AI Studio. Now I'm gonna use Copilot AI Studio. Honestly, there are so many applications out there to use, and it's better. For example, if you are in economics, it is better to to investigate which application is more suited to your area. So we are not here, telling you, hey, it's 100% you should use ChatGPT or you should choose Copilot. Honestly, Professor, sometimes what I do, I open 2 or 3, AI application and see which one actually give me the best answer. Here is a funny things I do in my class because I teach IB and I have students from China, students from Europe, and students from different countries. And then do you know what I ask them? Okay, you use ChatGPT, you use DeepSeek, you use Copilot, you use different method from your country, and see which response you're gonna get to this issue.
But as a school, right, we need to have a policy, especially if you also use AI system to evaluate student assessment. There's a privacy concern too, right? So if the dean's office had to recommend, yes, go ahead, every faculty can adopt the AI in the class. So there is also, I'm sure sooner or later, school will also have a policy in terms of privacy. Let's think of Canvas, right?
Oh, that's a good point. Now I see your question where it's going. Well, actually, the dean is working on probably, looking for a platform that we might, have some kind of deal with, but nothing is in the book yet. But he is working on something strategic, by the way. We will not be just using the tool, but we might enter into some strategic partnership with the tool that will be useful for all. And probably it will be an application that is not just specific to certain criteria, but will be good for everyone, like Copilot or something like that. So the dean has been working on it. It's in his mind. But I will let the dean, if once he watched this video, if he wants to expand on that on his video, presentation, he can do that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. The good question. Anybody else? What's it? Abby, if you want to add anything from your expertise, please go ahead.
Well, as you know, I'm part of the team, the AI Teach and Learn. We have a few people here from that team as well. We have Shao, we have Hailong. I know I'm missing a few people too, but yeah, we are working on the more like a strategic aspect of teaching. If I may oversimplify it, this team, Ben and Norman and Faye's team, they are taking a bottom-up approach, and probably we are taking a top-down approach of what exactly needs to be done, and then where we can fit in the individual tools or solutions, AI solutions and things like that. And my 2 cents would be, using AI in the classrooms is good, but I think it has a bigger context in terms of what exactly we are changing in the classroom in the first place. I mean, if we are still, for example, I'm just taking a very weird example, but if the students have to write essays, then they're going to abuse it probably, and we'll go back to a very similar situation where we need to find out how to maintain the academic integrity and everything. So I think it's not only the AI or not the tool, but also how we can change our teaching, and that is exactly what we are trying to find out as part of the different team partly.
Thank you so much, Abby. By the way, if you have a comment or if you have a question or if you have something you want to share, you can use also the chat room. Anybody else? Hey Phil, sorry to put you on the spot, but as a CEO, can you give by the way, Phil, by the way, guys, is one of our instructors here, but he's also an advisory board member here, at the business school in the department of IB. Outstanding faculty. Phil, you don't mind, you just give the audience a sense of how the market is reacting to AI.
I actually think it's very similar to how SLU is reacting to AI, in that it's very new and people aren't really sure what they can do with it. And you've got a lot of different people experimenting with it in, various and sundry ways. I mean, I'll tell you, in the executive search business, which is what, I do now, I mean, it's become very prevalent in terms of people using it to help write their resumes, in terms of helping companies write their job descriptions. It's people are just trying to figure it out, very similar to what SLU's doing. I think SLU sort of is ahead of the curve in terms of being proactive and putting everybody together to try to come up with, comprehensive ideas to sort of how it can fit into, the business school and all the programs in the business school.
Thank you so much, Phil. I would love to hear from those of you guys who are using AI in the classroom. Do you have anything to share? Any advice? Any recommendations? If I don't hear from anybody, so we're going to move.
I have a curiosity question, Ben, because
Sure,
you're
sure.
smart about this stuff. I've taught business in action a couple of times, and we've done the management game. Could students actually use AI to basically help them with that management game going forward if you were still using it?
Well, actually, we are still using that. By the way, well, it's a simulation just to explain to the rest of the group here. And on that simulation, I integrated AI, by the way, myself. For instance, during the establishment of the company, I require my student to create the logo using AI. And I give them the freedom to use any AI tool. And I will tell you why I did that, to learn from my students. Students are so tech savvy and they know AI stuff that you might not even know even exists. And it was an amazing exercise. Probably in my class, I learned that there are probably another 20 logo application in AI that they use, that they are so popular, I didn't even know. I have students from China, they brought this technology that was outstanding on creating logos and creating. And then I told them, okay, you have to use generative AI to come up with the name of your company. You suggest your own and let them suggest something else for you. I don't want them just to get everything as is, to suggest 5 and let AI suggest another 5. And guess what? The students use different generative AI and come up with some cool names in class. So AI was used. And by the way, the simulation itself, when you compete against a computer, you are technically competing against AI. So it's an AI tool that's come up. They see your decision. So it is already implemented. And I'm glad you mentioned this example just to show you that if different scores, you use different tools, you different technologies. And by the way, the students can be a big help on this. You give them the assignments, and you will see a lot of good things coming out from it. However, your role as faculty is to learn about the ethical aspects, about the also the critical thinking aspects, and make sure that the students are not using it blindly. For example, in one of my classes, this is how I use it. On my IB 310, which is geopolitics of international business, I come and I introduce the issues that are going on in the world. Like, for example, Trump tariffs. I talked about that for a few minutes. Then I stopped. I told the students, what do you think about it? They start getting their opinion. Then I stopped the class, told them, turn your computer on, open your generative AI stuff. And then, okay, I told them in 100 words, ask ChatGPT the same question I ask you in class. Compare your opinion to the opinion of ChatGPT, for instance. Would love to hear from somebody else if he has any comments or any suggestion or any experience with AI they want to share before we move on to Norman.
Actually, Ben, I have a question mainly to Faye or Norma. Faye mentioned that he used Copilot as kind of his class AI agent. The best way to create an agent is you feed the entire ebook into AI, right? Summarize, and student can indexing it back and forth. My question is, obviously, textbook is copyrighted. Are we free to upload the ebook into say Copilot, let's summarize and dissect, and students can search?
Well, I will ask this. I wrote a paper on AI ethics in business research. Well, first of all, my personal advice, and I'm glad you mentioned this question because one of our plan is to bring an ethical expert on AI to one of our sessions to guide us on this. But just from my humble experience with it, and the paper get lots of recognition. Actually, it's got an award. What I mentioned to it, that the privacy has to be on your mind all the time.
No, this is not privacy. This is copyright.
Well,
Yes.
well,
In
actually,
fact,
I did. Well, I
I
just
heard that
yeah,
many publishers are filing lawsuit against the Chat GPT and the
absolutely.
AI company.
Absolutely. What I'm saying, just to come to the privacy issues, and they will explain how it's related to the copyrights and stuff like that. For example, when I taught my IB, my MBA class in the evening, I use AI on it, and my students, I require them to buy ChatGPT Plus. Why did I do that? Because ChatGPT Plus has this memory of features. And I told students, if you are used to use normal ChatGPT, you cannot do this exercise in this class because ChatGPT will collect your information and use it for training. However, if you use ChatGPT Plus, you can turn that features off, and the ChatGPT will not be collecting your information. And even with that, I require my students, anytime they use any data for analysis, they have to remove names and stuff like that and shuffle the data so the ChatGPT will never recognize and stuff like that. In addition to that, in terms of copyrights and stuff like that, we need to figure out what we are doing. It's permissible or not. For example, there are some things you can use, some data you can use, and some data you cannot use. But as long as the data will be erased or eliminated, I think you are in phase. But once again, I am not the expert, but we will be bringing expert. But Faye have something to say about that. Go ahead, Faye.
Yeah. Thanks, Hailong, for raising a very good question. So I share with your concern. And one of the reasons that I use Copilot is because I can also use a local version of that, even when you don't have any internet. So, for instance, if you have a copyright textbook, you want to make a summary, or even an academic paper, you want to make a summary, you don't have to upload onto the internet. Instead, you can work on your local machine using the GitHub Copilot in conjunction with the VS Code. And this way, I guess you don't have any copyright issue.
Very good, Faye. That's awesome.
That's a great piece of information. Thank you, Faye.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, Norman, can you go ahead and share your slides?
Sure. So let me share my screen very quickly. So first of all, I think we have some good questions on how we think about the AI, including the platform and what AI matter for us. Right? So one of the point we mentioned just now is we are not just thinking about using AI for teaching is that it's changing our way of teaching, changing the way of we think. So I think it will be a mutually like benefits practice to use AI to prepare for teaching and also teach better how the students could prepare for the class. Um, like for example, just now Ben mentioned that he's using some of the example to let the students to think about what he thought at the beginning and ask the ChatGPT or other language tool to compare. So this is some of the practice I've done as well. I feel like students are very good at thinking, but if we could think about how to guide them to improve their way of thinking using the AI, that will be another level. Like I truly believe from a humble experience that the AI will be the next gender for the benchmark. We should start from AI. It's like a walking dictionary that has a lot of information that's very helpful. But asking the right questions, it's more important than the information itself, right? So there are a lot of hidden gems that we need to explore from this massive information. So what information we should look at, what process we should seek from the AI, it's kind of the next generation of how I think like the technology or teaching could direct to. So if you look at the screen, this generate from the AI. I use like I just type in what I want to say with some of the bullet point, and it's generate automatically. It's just a couple slides that reflects my thoughts on how I use AI, why I think AI is important, and some of my tools that I use currently for the AI. Apparently, this is just kind of just a starting point of from my experience. Like Ben and Faye has their own ways of using AI, so I'm just surfing this hopefully as a starting point to for better discussion. Or if you have any questions during the demonstration or the presentation, feel free to stop me, and we could even talk after this. So there are three very important things that I feel like AI matters for us in especially in teaching. The first one, I think many of you already experienced that, is it helps us better prepare for the class. It makes the teachings more efficient, including preparing for the slides, generate the notes. Like this is something that we already been done for on a daily basis, right? And there are something that I feel like is very important to improve the efficiency as well is we could use that for students' evaluation. Like there are a lot of essay that are written down, and we could use those AI tools to help assess how students are thinking in this process. If we prompt those ideas or the questions wisely, we could get a very good feedback from how students are thinking about this question or homework and what level are they right now. All of this can be considered as the additional insights from the students, which we may not assess or have time to get this in a systematic way. And another way that I think is very important is like to prepare for the slides and convert the things into different multi-dimensions like video, audio from text for students to better understand the concept using different way to transfer this knowledge. So all of this, I feel like it improved my efficiency a lot. That led me focusing on the other important stuff for teaching. The second point that I mentioned just kind of that is like the track the progress. It's a great tool I feel like can help students better understand the students' level based on what their feedback. And also we could design some like ChatGPT, customized ChatGPT to provide a customized level like case study or homework based on their level. So I could share some of this in the next session later. But all of this can be used by AI to assess their progress. And also based on their progress, they will provide a more tailored context to the students at their level. And the third one, I feel like it's like a fascinating. It's an innovative way to teach. This is the graph that I just used the ChatGPT to generate. Like previously, we could think of a teaching as the bi-directional way of teaching, like students to lecturer, student to student, and most of the concepts are confined with the context we learn, like the textbooks and the discussion we have so far, right? But with the AI, it actually bring in like all the memory or the knowledge we have from the world. And if we could tap the informations that we want, we could get a much better brainstorming experience and much better experience from the class. So like what I show in the graph, like it's kind of a different experience, like using the video, using the games, and using the case study designed by AI. There will be a totally different experience that so far from my teaching practice. So this is why I feel like AI is revolutionary and it can definitely help reshape the teaching. And then let me show you some of my example or tool that I have been using in AI. First couple is pretty straightforward, like content creation, generate the lesson plans, write the syllabus, and create the plans, like generate the homework. What is the expectation from the homework? And also the questions, if we have a very clear identification or a mind from what's the lecture is about, we could generate the questions for the test easily. So that is, I think we have been using this for a lot. And the presentation design, like this presentation, I just typed in what I want, the bullet points, and it automatically generate with the clear flow. And I don't need to worry about formatting. This is very helpful for me. And there are some others. I feel like it could be more advanced level. First of all, it's like assessment and feedback, as I just mentioned that we could use the AI to do plagiarism checks on their homework or to create a feedback, a systematic way of getting the feedback of how students homeworks, like is there anything that is missing from the students? What's the level? Do you think the students right now, based on their thinking, is there any missing point from their thinking thoughts that we could help improve in the next step? So in the future, I think that technology will be more advanced that this information, like the system we have, for example, from Medine, that designing, this can be stored as a system that we could use. We could further use to design a more customizable homework for the students in the future. So that is another things I've been using. And AI tutors, or you could think that as like an AI TA. So what I did so far is we could put the slides. It's not related to the copyright as Hailong mentioned. It's just the slides that I prepare relating to the textbooks into the ChatGPT. And then we customize the ChatGPT, including the syllabus and all the information I want the ChatGPT know about this course. And it will generate automatically AITA for the students. And if they have some simple questions they could simply ask the chat box and get the information like what's the deadline for the homework, what is the final schedule with the classroom, or even like if I want to generate some of the helpful multiple questions from the chapter one, then it will automatically generate for you. It serves as like a AITA. So I think this will help us lessens the time to communicate with students on those like small points, and we can focusing on the more meaningful teaching for the students. So that I've been using so far. And another things I've been using is the customized news discussions, because every day there are news discussions coming up. I automatically collect this the news, and then I will ask the students like for to read the article and have the discussion. But what we can do in more advanced way is that we could chat with the chat box or ChatGPT directly that what's your thoughts on after reading this news? And if we customize this AI chat box well enough, it will ask them to read the text, the article first, and then guide them step by step on what they're thinking about. They will not relieve the answer directly if you prompt this chat box correctly, and then it will based on students' level, like whether they know this information well enough, and they will guide you. Hey, this is the hint. Maybe you could direct to, and step by step guide students to the directions that you want them to go for. So I feel like personally this is pretty helpful for the teaching. And similarly, for the case study and scenario generation, we could simply prompt the text into or the common case study into a chat box style, and with the information we want, and then we don't provide students the answer directly, and we monitors the students' feedback to the case study. So previously, one of the concern we have is we provide a case study here and like a homework, and they ask them to provide a feedback or write a written report to submit. Most of the time, you could just simply type in and then ask the students, like student can type in the questions and get the report with the current technology. So it's hard to detect whether it's created by students or have they been thinking deeply on this problem. So with the AI, we could actually inject all those thinking process into the chatbox like experience. Like we could code that case study into application or just a chatbox case study, and we will monitor how students interact with the chatbox to get the answer. So from this experience, we know immediately how students are thinking about this problem and how students react to the chat box feedback to get the answer, instead of like getting the report and worrying about whether it's completely written by the AI. So I feel like this is also very helpful in my process of teaching. And another things been using is like speech, audio, and video tools. One of the very helpful tools is called Google Notebook, where you can just convert the slides or anything you want into a conversation dialogue, where they will bring down a very complex questions into a very easy chatting style conversations where you can just listen to like a podcast, like when you are driving, when you are doing a workout. So I convert that context into a 5 minutes or 10 minutes like a videos for students to listen. So there are multiple ways for students to absorb this information. It's not only through reading the textbooks or through the lecture. They could be a casual conversations through like audios or videos textile. So that will let students better observe the information. And finally, the collaborations and peer learnings that I plan to use in the next semester is to have those case study or discussions bring that on class and have their experience how they are asking the AI the questions, and we're going to have a discussion of how to ask the question smarter to get the answer in a better way. So anyway, I've been talking a lot, blah, 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 a lot. But this is just some of my thoughts or exploration I've currently been using. Feel free to ask me if you have any questions or clarification of this application. But I think you could definitely think of a better use case using this AI. But I truly believe this is just the starting point of infusing AI in the teaching.
Thank you very much, Norman. This is outstanding. We have two questions on the chat room about the slides. Norman, can we provide the slides to the audience, please? Is that possible, Norman?
Oh yeah, sure, definitely. I will provide a slide. And by the way, so this is the platform is called Gamma, and then I can share that. You could directly export that into a PowerPoint, into a PDF, into different types of version. There's multiple different like a slides presentation AI tools so far, but Gamma is the most advanced so far that I've been using. But the technology is changing over time, so that's why I don't recommend saying that we should stick with one of the tools because the tool is evolving. So I'm just keep digging and just find the tool that fits best for you. Yeah, I'll definitely
You have
share
another
that.
question. Yeah. And there is another question for you, Norman. Can you please, are you planning to go to show demos of all these features next time?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I will show some of the features, like including the AI chat box, AI tutor, how to create the news the discussion and the case study scenario generation, and the speech audios. Like all of this, I can prepare a case, a demo for that. Yeah, for the next meet. Yeah,
Okay,
no
Faye,
problem.
go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks, Norman, for the nice presentation. Just want to add one more point. I think at a very high level, I think AI in general, or the large language models in particular, is kind of undergoing a paradigm shift. So if we go back to 2 or 3 years ago, when the ChatGPT first came out, it's really just a simple chat box, right? You can ask questions and get some answers. And nowadays, it's much more different. Nowadays, we have the so-called AI agent. And you might wonder, what is an AI agent? I think AI agent is just a very high-level system that can perceive its environment, just like what Norman just showed you, and also make the decisions and also take the actions to achieve specific goals, often autonomously. And I think in general, there are 4 features of an AI agent. First one is perception. So this agent can gather useful information from your environment, for instance, the user input or the data set, even on your local machine. And second feature is reasoning. So the agent is able to analyze useful information and automatically determine the best course of actions without any human intervention. And third feature is the action. So the agent is able to execute the tasks or provide some recommendations. And finally, it's about the learning. So the agent is able to improve the performance on its own gradually over time based on the user's feedback. And I think because of all these 4 features, that's what make all these additional functionalities that you just saw from Norman's presentation possible. And we'll share, I think Ben and Norman and I will share more demos about how to use the agent next time.
Yeah, exactly. So the things that we will be doing, we will be creating a website with a lot of resources. It will include articles, demos, and we also any training we do, whether we do it on campus, off campus. We will record it and post it online. As some of you know, I already created the YouTube channel for this purpose, and it was, by the way, it was recommended by my own student. They asked me, please, if you can do that. I did it, and this is one example. This one that I share with you on the chat room, this is the workshop I did 2 years ago here on campus. So it shows you how to create PowerPoint, how to create prompts from the basic elements of AI. And by the way, the technology there, some of it has already been replaced with something even better. So we might be upgrading that stuff. But we will be working on a website that will have, the resources, the training and stuff like that. And then in addition to that, we are more than willing, to help you out individually if you have any question. So we're gonna work on the schedule for you can stop by if you have any question and you need some guidance and stuff like that. And by the way, what you see, it's only a small portion. I've seen what Norman did and what Faye did and what Abby did. Some outstanding stuff that you can actually replicate in your class or build on it. So this is one thing. I want to go back to something that Professor Hello mentioned, which is the question of the copyright. When I did my research, there are different, policies around the world. For example, in some European universities, is a no, 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 no. You cannot use it. You cannot upload even for audio. You cannot even upload for this or this. Here in the United States, it's still debatable. It's debatable in one area, but I'm not a lawyer. The things they mention is the question of fair use. If you're going to use it for summary and stuff for academic purposes only, to a certain extent, that's what OpenAI say. So they don't allow use copyright materials. However, they say if you are using it for fair use. Once again, for ethical issues, for legal issues, unfortunately, even at the university level, we don't have a very strong and clear policy. And many universities don't, and even many journals don't. So, however, we're going to bring some experts to the table to share their thoughts on this topic. So that's why I don't want to dwell too much, on it. It's beyond my skill level.
But Ben, we have a lawyer here. Vance, what do you think?
I think it's a whole new world for intellectual property. I mean, that's everybody's concerned about that. I mean, in fact, what are these? What's AI doing? It's just gobbling up all kinds of intellectual property without asking anyone's permission.
Well, there was a lawsuit by the New York Times, by India, because against ChatGPT, and it's all over. There are so many lawsuits because, however, the lawsuit that they have, most of it, center about the use of those textbook music and stuff for training. Yeah. So, okay. Does anybody have any question about what Norman talked about? Or do you have any recommendation? We really want to hear your advice. Because we are not here just, okay, that's all. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. It was very nice. But I have the questions from the student side and not from the lecture side. So first question is, then school has a plan like using the tools for student, because the reason is the paid version versus free version has different function, different the quality of the answer. So then if we allow the student to use ChatGPT or whatever things, then the quality of outcome could be different. Then how can we solve the problem? That is the first question. The second question is, so far we talk about some kind of how use AI to prepare the class. But the thing that I think is like we need to more focus on the implication for the student. Think about in the end, we need to advertise our program. Hey, we incorporate the AI in the classroom, but using the AI just prepared in class, it doesn't make any sense. So we need to highlight how AI is helpful to students to increase their knowledge, outcome, yada yada yada. So this second part, how can you handle it? So that's my question.
Yeah, very good. That's all. Actually, I will tell you this. This is the job of the second committee. Honestly, our job as a AI tech is just to help faculty integrate AI into the class, or help. So you take ownership of it and see, for example, the way you're going to use it in finance is different from IB or marketing or whatever. Even the way you use it for one chapter is different from the other. So, as I said, there are so many tools out there. And however, even when it comes to tools, we have to go with the university policy. We cannot just say, hey, there is a tool out there you can use. We have to be extremely careful. Here is one example. There is an AI companion that comes with Zoom. For those who have a personal version of Zoom, they can use AI companion. Well, SLU doesn't allow it. It's blocking it for privacy reasons, because they're going to use our chat and our transcription for training. Whatever tool the school will be buying, it has to be in compliance with the university policy, as well. Professor Naresh, go ahead.
So Ben, I have two questions. First question is for Faye. Faye, you mentioned about AI agents and you mentioned about the four roles they play: perception, reasoning, action, and performance management. And though for the broader context to everyone, Faye recently conducted a mini course on Memorial Day weekend, a a 2 day course, 4 hours each day. I happened to attend that course. I found Faye that to be Faye. I just wanted to give you a big shout out. Extremely well done. How to use agents to help in teaching. But Faye, my question is, while the course was extremely well done, one of the best applications of AI agents I've seen in the class. My question is, if we were to replicate something like that, or AI agents, how much of a time it will take for the faculty? My biggest concern is, I'll follow up with a second question soon, which will be for the broader group. But Faye, my question is like the faculty as such has a very low appetite for learning curve. If the learning curve is huge, faculty is likely not going to participate. So, Faye, do you have any thoughts how much of time it would take?
Hi, Naresh. Yeah, first of all, thanks very much for attending that mini course. I really appreciate. And about your question, I share with your concern. The version that I taught in that class is quite technical. But for the version that I'm going to do a demo next time, that's based on a very simple case study that will be made very accessible to any colleague members in our school, regardless of his or her background or expertise. So I will make sure to make it as accessible as I can for everyone.
Right, Faye, thank you so much. Because
I just want to add something, Naresh. When it comes to this is something we're going to also expand on it in another section where we're going to be showing some demos. When it comes to agents, you can do a lot of things. It's not just one technical aspect. So AI agents, it's right now the new trend, and they go from basic to advanced. Go ahead, Norman.
Yeah, so I want to add to the Ben's point and Faye's points like about the AI agents. To respond about the learning curve, Faye introduced the Copilot in the AI classroom from GitHub 2 weeks ago. And then I've been playing about that and I find it fascinating. It just requires us to prompt or ask the question correctly, then all the other tasks can be done from the AI agent. It can generate. Currently, I've been using that to generate the graph for my papers and to generate to write the recommendation letters. All of that, update the website. All of that can be simplified by just convert that into the AI agent format, and it can generate almost anything you can imagine for you, like generating the slide like this. The gammas that I just showed, it could also generate from the AI agent as well. There's different types of AI agent, but I just thinking that this will be revolutionary. It's not just like it will convert from the current understanding of the chat line, the AI interaction, into something that if you ask something, the computer or AI can do this for you. So it's very powerful.
So guys, unfortunately, we are running out of time. It's 11. We promised to have this in 1 hour. Here is the deal. You can shoot me an email I want recommendation. What kind of sessions you want us to do? If you have any suggestion about what kind of resources you want us to bring, we will be more than happy to do. When do you want the next session? If you want it before you start working on your syllabus, we will be happy to do it. If you want to train in on how to prepare your syllabus using generative AI, we will be more than happy to do it as well. Just let us know what do you want, and please shoot me an email. Uh, you know, um, and if I receive a lot of emails, then I will create a forum where people can post their questions there. And we will respond accordingly. We really need your help so we can prepare accordingly, and we are very open. And then if you need any help, Norman and I are mostly here every morning. Sorry, Norman, to put you on the spot. But if you have any questions and you want to stop by my office, say, hey, I am using this AI tool. Have you used it? Do you have any guidance, any help or something? We will be more than happy to help. If we don't know, we're going to reach out to experts to help you as well. Well, thank you so much, guys. And please,
Ben, sorry to interrupt.
yeah, thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please, thank you so much, Faye. I know, Faye, it's too late now in China. We should let Faye go to sleep. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.
So Ben,
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. If you have any
thank you.
question, I'm staying here for a few minutes.
Ben,
I'll
the
stay here
date
for a
you
few
will-
minutes if you have any question.
Ben, I'm just to address any ambiguity. The next session is on July 15th, right? You mentioned you can email me about when do you want the session, but the next one is fixed on July 15th. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Okay. Well, we have two parallel sessions. We have what I call session A is exploration. Session B is the people who are already advanced in AI, and we will have a circle of knowledge that we can build something out of it. So, for example, on that one, we will be listening to Faye advanced features. We will listen to Norman, a really cool. By the way, you need to see what Norman has done as well with ChatGPT. It's unbelievable. It's really good. So you will see a lot of things that we will be shared on that circle.